The other day, I went shooting with some buddies who are new to the AR-15 platform, and they asked me to teach them how to use their rifles for things other than mag dumping into garbage. I happily agreed and decided to use this as an opportunity to make a video about the topic. Today, we're just going to start with reloads. There are 3 different types of reloads you can do with an AR-15. The first type of reload is called an emergency reload, also known as a speed reload or a bolt lock reload. This occurs when you have fired the last round in your magazine and the bolt is automatically locked to the rear. This is a high priority reload, where getting a fresh magazine into your rifle and putting rounds down range is very likely a life or death situation. Step 1 in an emergency reload is recognizing that your rifle is empty. This can be done simply by tilting your rifle over and observing the chamber. If you see an empty chamber, your magazine is empty and you need to reload. If you can still see the bolt, you probably still have some ammunition in your magazine or at least a round in the chamber. As you shoot more and become more familiar with your rifle, you will be able to tell when your bolt is locked to the rear because of the change in the recoil impulse. Step 2 is dropping the empty magazine. Most of the time, you can press the magazine release button on the lower receiver with your index finger, and the magazine should usually drop free. Occasionally, the magazine will not drop all the way out of the rifle. This can be due to fouling or debris in your rifle, the angle of your rifle relative to the ground, or even out-of-spec parts or magazines. That's okay, leave it there for now. As long as the magazine is no longer being locked in place by the magazine catch, we will deal with the empty magazine later. Some people are of the opinion that retaining an empty magazine during the reload process is a good idea. While it is easy to see where they might get this idea, the time it takes for you to stow an empty magazine is too long for a situation that relies on your ability to put rounds downrange as fast as possible. It's best to drop the magazine and retrieve it later for future use. Step 3 is retrieving a fresh magazine from your kit. People have different views on which orientation your magazine should be in, but it is ultimately the shooter's preference, and may vary depending on how you grip the magazine in the pouch. Whichever way you choose, it's best to standardize on that way to avoid fumbling with the magazine under pressure. Step 4 is inserting the fresh magazine into the rifle. This can be tricky for shooters new to the AR-15 platform, but will become easier with practice. The best method for inserting the magazine reliably is to align the spine of the magazine with the cutout in the lower receiver and firmly pressing the magazine into place until it stops. Try to avoid the rock and lock or AK style reload. This is inefficient and will take more time than pushing the magazine straight up into the magazine well. Step 5 is chambering the next round. For right-handed shooters, the fastest and most simple method for doing this is to press the bolt release with your thumb after you inserted the fresh mag. With some practice, Step 4 and Step 5 can easily be done in almost the same motion. Step 6 is often overlooked, but it is critical. Re-establish your firing grip on the rifle. It can be tempting to wrap your hand around the magazine well and begin firing a fraction of a second faster, but doing this will leave the front end of your rifle unsupported and significantly weaken your ability to control recoil. Take the extra time to reach out and re-establish that good grip on the weapon before firing. The second type of reload is called the tactical reload. This is conducted when there's no immediate threat to your life and you have the time to organize and prepare yourself for future action. Use this method when you still have some ammo left in your magazine, but could top off with a fresh one. Step 1 in a tactical reload is to ensure that you and your team do not need to be actively engaging a threat. Once it's established that the immediate vicinity is safe, you can communicate with your team and tell them that you intend to top off your weapon. Step 2, grab a fresh magazine from your kit. You should grab the magazine that is the hardest or most inconvenient to grab on your kit. There are multiple ways to grab the fresh magazine, and how you decide to do it can depend on the orientation of your magazines in your kit or the layout of your kit. I prefer to grab the base of the magazine with the base plate firmly in the palm of my hand. Step 3 is replacing the old magazine. With the fresh magazine in your hand, reach forward and place the base of the new magazine on the base of the old magazine, oriented in an L shape. While doing this, grab the old magazine with the same hand and squeeze both magazines together. Once your grip is set, Press the mag release with your trigger finger and pull both magazines down. Once the old magazine is clear of the mag well, you can rotate your hand and insert the new magazine firmly into the rifle. Step 4 is re-indexing the used magazine into your kit. The process for this will vary depending on the type of pouches you're using and their placement, but take the time to put it back into a pouch and secure it as necessary. Some doctrines teach shooters to orient the partial magazine opposite to your other magazines, to differentiate that the magazine is not full. You can decide whether or not this is something you adopt. Step 5 is to confirm that your new magazine is secured properly in the weapon. The best way to do this is to firmly smack the base of the magazine into the weapon with the palm of your hand, and then give the magazine a quick tug to ensure it's seated properly. The third type of reload is called an administrative reload. Put simply, this is the process for loading the weapon when you first pick it up. To conduct this type of reload, insert a fresh magazine into your weapon, ensuring that it's properly seated. Then, grip the charging handle and pull it all the way to the rear. From there, simply release the charging handle and let the bolt come forward. Do not ride the bolt forward, as this can easily cause malfunctions. After the rifle is loaded, you can choose to conduct a press check or brass check. This is a process to ensure that a round has been successfully stripped from the magazine and chambered properly. To do this, pull back slightly on the charging handle. Release the charging handle and let the bolt come forward under its own power. Ensure that the bolt is in battery by giving the forward assist a firm press, then close the ejection port cover.
Dagger 1-1, stand by for 9 line.